All right, everyone, I'm back again. This morning, we're going to be using some Cold River Soapworks, Bergamot, and Bay. And there's a list of the ingredients. I believe this is a somewhat, I shouldn't say older soap base, but I think this has been his base for a while. I could be wrong, but I bought this many years ago, and I haven't heard of a reformulation. So I think this is still his current base. And it says tallow and lanolin, kokum and shea, butters. It has a bunch of good stuff on the back. This actually, Cold River Soapworks, I remember when I first started wet shaving, this was kind of heralded as the elite, like one of the top soap bases. And so if it's, elite at any point in its lifespan, it's going to be pretty darn good. Even if soaps have gotten better these days, it's going to be pretty darn good. So this one, pretty straightforward, but it's actually a really pleasant blend. The Bergamot and Bay. So it does have that sweet citrus, but the Bay brings in a nice warmth. It's slightly spicy, not much, and it's really, there's no clove. It's not one of those heavy clove bays. This is just I would say it's a sweet, warm, citrus, just a little spice. But yeah, it's real nice stuff. It's pretty pleasant. Since it is kind of old, you can kind of see there it's pretty low. It is about a 4 out of 10 scent strength. So it might have been stronger back in the day. I can't remember, but 4 out of 10 scent strength. That's where we're sitting. I got it pressed into my Lancaster bowl as always. I'm going to be using my turn and shave with this little badger knot on it. We'll go ahead and wring that out. And I'm going to be having a nice little breakfast beer this morning with my shave. So we're going with Revision Brewing out of Reno, Nevada. And this one's called Lupulin Lord. It's a hazy IPA. It has this cool kind of hop warrior looking guy on the front. So we're going to go ahead and crack that. And we're going to enjoy that throughout our shave. It's always good to have a breakfast beer if you work the graveyard. If you work the graveyard shift, it's always good to get a breakfast beer when you're all over, when it's all done. Alright. You can see it's got this nice bright yellowish orange character to it. And it's just dank citrus on the head. Alright. Yeah, I'm liking that. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more moisture in. We're going to start off with a pretty moist brush, just because. I'm going to kind of do the Don Younger method of just slamming it with moisture right out the gate. And you'll see you get a lot of bubbles when you slam it with moisture. But you just got to keep thrashing back and forth. Maybe some circular motions if that gets you going. But we'll work those bubbles right out of there. I got a lot of feedback on my how to lather my way video, and seems like people enjoyed it, and I'm glad. People either agreed with me or at least could appreciate where I was coming from. Like I said in the video, it's not rocket science, but it is good for newbies to have a reference point, and it's also good for maybe a different perspective. If you've been bowl lathering a certain way, and then you see that, and you might say, oh, he's doing it totally different than I do it. You never know. So, that was my way. That wasn't me trying to say my way's better or anything like that. That was just the way I do it. It works for me, and I'm glad people enjoyed it. But we just got plenty of shiny, glossy lather here, so we're good to go. That Dawn Younger method of just slamming it with water, that also works. But I will say, it's probably not a move I would recommend to rookies, or to newbies, I should say. Kinda get familiar with the lathering process before you bust a move like that. I recommend starting off with a damp brush. Like you dip the brush or soak the brush before you shave, and then wring it out. And at that point, it's damp, but it's not dripping wet. Start there, and then gradually add water until you get familiar with your soap base that you're using, or until you are you've been doing it for a while and you kind of know that most soaps take this amount of water no matter what, Alright, so let's get to lathering, but not before another sip. Alright, here we go. I didn't really show off my brush too much. I probably should have. This little Turn and Shave Custom. It's literally one of my favorite brushes. With the metallic silver in the black. And then the white and black marble. Let me take a second here. See if you guys can appreciate that. It's a really badass little brush. Pretty simplistic, kind of timeless shape, timeless design, classy. Oh yeah. All right. Figured I'd break this out. It's always nice to kind of dig into the back of your collection and show some older soaps some love, which it seems like I've been doing a lot of lately. I should probably break out some Hype Beast soap pretty soon, just so I don't look like I'm out of touch. Not that that matters, but I don't want to get so caught up in my old soaps that I forget all the recent soaps that I've acquired. Alright. Oh. You know what? I was gonna add some damn Terrorade to this, and I got caught up. I think what I'm gonna do, it's already running late, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna slam this thing with a bunch right here, right now. Alright. Well, let's just do the vial. You guys are watching. The whole damn vial. And I'll push that to the side, and I'll incorporate it. Maybe add a little bit more water here. Now I'm going to be running late. I don't really want to rush my shave, but I did want to use some Terrorade. I didn't count the drops like I did previously, but In one of my earlier shaves, I went up to 40 drops, and it wasn't that impressive anyhow. And I like that I'm doing this on camera as well, so it's kind of documented when I inevitably get the "that didn't happen" type fanboys. There's no way to measure how cold it is to me from the other side of the camera, but I will say it ain't that cold. Alright. Oh, I'm going to be using this awesome little gem 1912 razor. I got a Personna stainless blade loaded in, and it's probably like on its third or fourth shave. Alright, this is probably the latest I've started into a video, but I'm going to try not to rush and still get a good shave. Now at this point, I can feel a tingle. You know, it's there. It's activated, I should say. What I'm not going to say is that it's cold, because I don't feel any chill whatsoever at this point. I would just say there's like a tingle on my skin. Like an allergic reaction tingle or something. I don't know. I don't know what to call it, but it's just like the faintest tingle. Just so you know something's there. Now this gem 1912, I'd probably recommend to newbie gem users, just because it is so smooth for a gem style razor. And once you kind of got a handle of the technique, it's actually really enjoyable. I don't know if I reopened that thing that I had the other day, that little scab or whatever. I'm just gonna add some moisture. I'm not really gonna try to dry it off. I'm just gonna add some moisture. And we'll lather back up real quick. At this point, I would say the tingle is more intense, maybe approaching like a 2 out of 10 on the chill factor, with that whole vial squeezed out. I guess I shouldn't say the whole vial, but with the amount that I pulled out that you saw on camera, probably like a half vial completely squeezed in. At this point, there's just like a 2 out of 10 chill. I don't know about you guys. Not impressive to me. And I probably sound like I'm hounding on it, but it's kind of like one of those like father moments where your child has... You caught your child doing something wrong, and you kind of sit them down and you're just like, Barrister and Mann, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. It's kind of one of those things where it's like, you know, it's not the end of the world. It does get chilly, but it's like, I don't think it's a great value. Squirting a fucking whole vial into it just to get mediocre chill. We're not going to base this whole shave on that. This old soap Bergamot and Bay. It's still detectable. Once it's been lathered, it's still probably 3.5, 4 out of 10. It's still detectable, but it's definitely not very strong. I like mine, more bold, but it is what it is. It is a very nice scent, though. I would wear this anytime. Casually, date night, whatever. I think it's simple, but it's like very classy. And this little gem is just shaving like a dream. I know my buddy Jack over at the Virtual Groom Room had asked me after watching one of my Barrister and Mann Terrorade videos that is it possible I got a bad batch? And it is possible. Anything's possible. But you just kind of wouldn't expect that from Barrister and Mann. They kind of have really high quality standards. I don't know. It is possible. I haven't contacted them. I've only had the product for about a week. And I kind of wanted to get multiple different ways of testing in before I ruled out the fact that maybe it's me and not the product. But I gotta say, it's not looking good. It's not looking good for the product. I gotta remember, before I started doing videos, I would always stretch the skin by pulling up on my beard. Now that I'm doing videos, I'm kind of pulling down on my chest in order to give you guys a half-ass look at what I'm doing. Since I don't have a kind of a head-on phone mount type thing. Alright. It looks like we did nick that scab or whatever we had, that residual spot. Looks like we did nick it, but it's not bleeding all crazy. Everything else looks like we're pretty good. Alright. And it's kind of funny how, cartridge users, when they do get introduced to this, and they might be turned off because they say, man, it takes a lot longer to get a shave in. Well, I actually began a little after 10 minutes in. And right here at 18, I'm done. I'm just rinsing off. So probably, 10 minutes total. That's not a whole hell of a lot of time out of your morning routine. I couldn't imagine a cart being much faster than that. And that's with a over 100-year-old razor, so there's that. That's kind of unintentionally turned into a speed shave. Alright, so even at this point, I would say it's only maxed out at about a 3 out of 10. Chill factor. It's just kind of like, it just has that tingle and then like the slightest amount of chill. And I'm starting to wonder if people that say they're feeling it with just 3 drops, I'm starting to wonder if they're talking about the tingle. Whoops. Excuse me. I'm starting to wonder if they're talking about the tingle and not the chill. Because I felt like the tingle was a precursor to me feeling the chill. And the tingle didn't come with any chill of its own. It is just like a little skin tingle, like this ain't normal. But I don't know. Maybe I have like some ungodly tolerance to this synthetic menthol. I don't know. I used that Lisa's Naturals soap yesterday. That uses real menthol. And I felt that immediately, and it was medium cold, medium chill. This is kind of like a slow build, and then even at that, it just kind of barely gets anywhere. It's like if you were going half a mile per hour up a speed bump. About the height of a speed bump is all this is really achieved. I'm just messing around, guys. The Barrister and Mann fanboys are probably gonna find my address and arrive with pitchforks and torches. But I'm being honest, but I'm just kind of flipping some shit at the same time. Alright. And that soap did just fine. Still very high quality in my opinion. It helped me rush through a shave, which you really shouldn't do unless you absolutely have to. I gotta be careful there. I feel the slickness on my hands as I'm taking a drink. Alright, so I'm going to use the matching Cold River Soapworks Bergamot and Bay Moisturizing Aftershave. Now this, I'll go ahead and put it up there so you can see the ingredients more or less. But it has a lot of good stuff in there. It's not so much a splash. Like you can see it has this little spray pump. It's more of a, it comes out in an actual like mist. And what you get is kind of like this milky, kind of lotiony type. It's not super thick. It's actually kind of, you know, it still has a liquid consistency, not a lotion. And what I'm going to do is just add some drops of Terrorade to the aftershave to keep this little tiny tingle going. Might as well get straight into the veins. Alright. And this stuff, if memory serves, was actually pretty damn moisturizing. So that's going to be good. I always appreciate that. Let me just get this little residual off there. Alright. So we'll do a little recap and then we'll send you on your way. Use Cold River Soapworks Select Shaving Soap in the Bergamot and Bay scent. Awesome stuff. And it's still there, but ever so faint. You know what I mean? I use my Lancaster Razor Works bowl, as always. I use my Turn and Shave Custom with the badger knot on top. Nice little thing. This was before he had tip knots or any hype knots. Good stuff. Of course, I had a nice hazy IPA. Nice little breakfast beer there. And I used Barrister and Mann's Terrorade cooling additive. And don't forget, caution, extremely cold. Or lack thereof cold. And I used my Gem 1912 razor. 1912 is the year. These were produced for a while, so it's in that range. Awesome little shaver. just as good now as it was then. And that was the Personna stainless blade. It had about 3 shaves on it. If you notice, I don't keep super close track. But that'll do it for me, guys. Cheers. Have a good Friday. Have a good weekend. I'm finna barbecue tomorrow and have some friends and family over. So hopefully you guys have a good weekend as well. Peace.